All right. Hello, hello, hello. How's everybody doing? Let me turn my phone down here. I was looking at some late news, late, and that I was trying to figure out exactly where this was at. And I guess you probably heard about the they were, oh, people put up these billboards, and it just makes people mad. And we have we have one that's let me get over here where I can get presentation. There we go. Oh, the president, yes, restoring America. We the people, thank you. President Donald J. Trump, promises made, promises kept. And some people are mad up in Massachusetts, I guess that would be Massachusetts. And they didn't like they didn't like the promises made billboards that are all over. This is in Massachusetts, and this was in front of the Panda restaurant at the center of Lenox. It's sponsored by the Concerned Citizens Committee. They were trying to find out who did it, and some people were complaining about it. I guess Trump derangement syndrome would probably kick into full bore. The MassDOT, Massachusetts Department of Transportation, says they do not regulate content on permitted billboards, nor should they. It's not not a communist nation, and people get so offended. If you don't like it, don't look. I mean, oh, Jason Tate from the Office of Campaign and Political Finance told the Eagle that billboards identify federal office holders are not within the scope of the state law, but fall under the Federal Election Commission. Although the commission is closed because the government shut down, its website states that even when not eligible to run for a re-election, term-limited presidents and other political committees are still subject to FEC advertising regulations. Well, if you keep the government shut down, nobody can do anything about it. Oh. The Pittsburgh display features side-by-side photos of Trump and Charlie Kirk. That's another one they have, called the American Comeback. I saw those. Now they're on here. They're calling him the right-wing activist, media personality, and entrepreneur who was assassinated. Well, they get mad, don't they? This is definitely a liberal news site, and it's like all the stir with all we got going on in the world, with all that we have going on in the world, all the dangers to America. That's what they're concerned about. Is a few billboards. God help us. That shows right there just where we're at, right, folks? I mean, we got all these threats going on around the world. We're trying to get things fixed in America, make America great again, and they're upset because of some President Trump signs with an American flag, behind him, restoring America. We the people, thank you, President Donald J. Trump. Promises made, promises kept. Now, what is controversial? If you don't like him, you don't like him. Okay, but the billboard ain't hurting you. Oh man, I have seen all kinds of billboards in my life. Some I like, some I could care less about, some that I didn't care for them. Most of the time, I don't have any. They don't bother me. I mean, somebody has, as long as it wouldn't be, I wouldn't want something filthy, with my kids. And there's rules against that, but sometimes they push the envelope. But when you got your kids and you're not running around, nor do I want to see it. But especially my kids or something, I'm carrying them to school or something, I wouldn't want a billboard there with being very offensive like that. But as far as I don't care what political party they put up a billboard, they put up a billboard. I mean, it's people see them. That's marketing. It's effective. It works. They're not cheap. if you've ever put up a billboard, they're not cheap. And there's only a handful, really, I think, in the country. These have been monopolized. There's only a handful of companies that have these. What he ought to do is just buy the billboard company and because all the cities, they started putting the rules on signage in the communities. You can't have too many signs everywhere. Sign. And granted, everybody's trying to get your attention, flashing lights and all this stuff to get you to come into their shop or their store or whatever. It's marketing. Everything's marketing. You're trying to get attention. The fact that, but billboards are a little different. Like down low, going down a road, it can be quite cluttered, and they have rules on that. I get it, but most of the time, billboards are you might see one or two in an area, then you don't see anymore. Now they got the digital billboards; they're flashing, scrolling signs, things like that. That would be what he ought to do is get some of them around the country that have the way that he can leave messages and have video and stuff, and be doing his little dance, thumbs up, saluting, But hey, somebody bought them and paid for them, and uh, some people just can't handle it. I mean, they can't handle it. I mean, I have seen every kind of politician on a sign or a billboard, and I just, you know, I may say something's going by the message, like I'm sure people that don't like his message would say there, I might say, well, you didn't do that, or you didn't fulfill that campaign obligation or whatever. But then you have Harrison Ford, the Star Wars man himself, the aged Indiana Jones, Harrison Ford, coming out and saying that really, Harrison, that he's like the biggest criminal of all time. Are you kidding me? Like, can we just be a little more over dramatic, dude? I mean, really. You live in a Hollywood bubble. The biggest criminal of all time throughout the history of the world. Really? Is that really where you're going to go with that? And you expect people to take you serious? How about trying to learn? How about landing your planes right? Let's just worry about that. You're an entertainer. You're not here to. Wisdom is not your strong suit in this. I mean, come on. You painted houses. You became a big movie star, and I like a lot of your movies. I do, but I don't listen to Hollywood actors for political commentary. But it's freedom. You have a right to say it, but you make yourself look idiotic when you say the biggest criminal of all time. It's leftists constantly go for they're always the ones that's cracking on education, and that they're parts of the higher society. Their IQ levels are off the charts, and they're all this, and they all portray all conservatives as dumb and toothless and uneducated and buffoonish and fools and all that stuff. And then they turn around and they make the most obnoxious statements ever. And it's like, really, you think we're going to take you serious on that? I mean, let's go out. But I don't even have to list them. Throughout history, the butchers and killers and everything else, and you're going to say he's the biggest criminal of all time. Come on, Harrison. Maybe it's time to go to the actor's old folks' home and just say it. But hey, it's freedom. You have a right to say it. I like it. I actually like it because you know what? I can laugh at you, and I can still watch Star Wars, and I can still watch all the movies you were in. And I can still like those because the character there is not that character. That's just pretend. It has nothing to do with who you really are. The George Clooney's of the world and all the rest of them and what they're saying. And the funny thing about it is, the president doesn't care. He does not care. He just doesn't care. It does not. He's like Superman. It just bounces off of him. It doesn't affect him. Whatever. He doesn't walk away going, "Oh man, nobody likes me now," or I should, now they're getting on to me about this. I promise you, this guy does not care about that. You can come out and endear yourself to the leftist. You can play to your base friend, but you've ticked off a lot of people when you come out and say something like that. I mean, people that go and buy, and I would say that a lot of people come and watch your movies, dude, were probably conservatives. I mean, not all, but a lot. And, come on, man. It really does crack me up. It really does. Hey, I'm Dave in the AM with your MAGA report. We're getting back in the swing of getting I'm a little bit delayed. This week's been crazy, but we're good. We appreciate you. I went to go get my granddaughter to her mom's. It's rained all the way, and that's neither here nor there. But oh my goodness, I got soaked coming in the studio, trying to get the lock open to get in, and it just let go, and so I'm a little bit wet. Got the heat on just so I can kind of dry out a little bit, but I'm glad to be here. It's been a great Sunday. Had a good time at church. I hope you've had a great weekend. The Dodgers won, a little bit of, just throw some sports out there. Dodgers back-to-back champions. The race is on. We're going to crown a race champion today for NASCAR. College football. Tennessee went down. Georgia Tech went down. Auburn's coach got fired. I mean, you saw that one coming. NFL games ongoing. I mean, it's a lot going on. We'll get to that in the days to come. Well, I wanted to go over to some news and just talk about some of the things. There is an article in Newsmax that the Supreme Court is going to hear about. They're going to examine Trump's tariffs. Um, And, I'm sure the hope is on the left that he would not be able to use them against other countries the way he has. I don't think there's much they can do here. But anyway, the Supreme Court is supposed to take a look at that. People are pushing that. But they had the arguments on this week. They will hear the arguments on whether the Republican president has overstepped the federal law with many of his tariffs. Well, what? We set the tariffs. We can change those, raise those. Ruling against him could limit or even take away that swift and blunt leverage that much of his foreign policy has relied on. Trump increasingly has expressed agitation and anxiety about the looming decision in a case he says is one of the most important in U.S. history. He said it would be a disaster for the United States if the justices failed to overturn lower court rulings that found he went too far in using an emergency powers law to put his tariffs in place. Trump has suggested he may take the highly unusual step of attending the arguments in person. Well, it's too bad they don't allow cameras in the Supreme Court. We do have audio, but we don't get. You know what? By the way, I will go on record right now in saying that needs to change. And this is not. I mean, come on. We all know who the justices are. It's not like there's some jury pool that we're trying to keep secret, which always gets known anyway. Uh, I think America deserves the right to look behind. We can hear it, but you should be able to see it. Why would they? I mean, I get why they don't want them there, but really, for America, for transparency that everybody talks about, cameras should be allowed in there. If you're going to be making these rulings, you're going to be hearing the arguments. You want to see those people that are coming up and speaking for or against something, and then because there are people there and they're describing what they see that are allowed in there, but there's also the audio, and we can kind of piece those two together. But in this day and time, I get why some trials you don't allow the camera in, sensitivity to a child case, or so. I get that. But in most cases, in this day and time, that's archaic to me that we would not have cameras in the courtroom for this. To me, there's absolutely no reason why that should still be in place. That seems something out of the dark ages now, with as much of where we're at with technology and everything. I mean, there's a camera everywhere. We as citizens, everywhere we go, we're on camera everywhere. And the Supreme Court gets to have their little party without cameras. I mean, come on. And this is not a conservative or liberal thing. This is just that should happen. I want to see those interactions between the justices. I want to see them debate the oral arguments that these people are making to the court. I want to see that. That's something that C-SPAN should be in there and feeding out to all the outlets. And that should be changed. Absolutely should be changed. So it would be interesting to see. It's too bad because if he goes, we won't see that. I mean, think about all the courts that they dragged the president into. Before he was president, obviously, I know leading up, and even as president, they're always trying to drag him into court. But we've all got to see them mean mugging him. I mean, you saw it. The prosecuting attorneys and the district attorneys and the court workers and different ones that have mean mugged him as he's come into these courts, these liberal courts in big cities, or how they've acted up in other cases involving him where he's not even been at, but they're debating stuff. And them prancing and flaunting and bragging and all that, and the cameras on them, and people are watching everything about that. Well, why shouldn't the justices have to fall under that same measure? I mean, why would it not? I just think that's ridiculous, and I would like to see that. It just let it go. It ain't going to happen because they're not going to let it happen, but it should. I get they still have never found out who leaked out the abortion ruling early and the damage and all that chaos that caused. those people should be prosecuted if they can ever find out who did it. They need to tighten the controls on that very much, where there's no way they would know who did it if it happened. Certainly, you have to protect that until it's the right time. That's not right. It doesn't matter what the case is. But to hide behind the cover of darkness, so to speak, in this day and time, at the highest court in the land, seems to me to be behind the times. And there may have been a time that I may have thought that was okay, to be honest. I may have, because cameras weren't widely used in court cases much then. That's changed. It's almost an automatic. There are a few cases still. And again, like I said previously, if it was involving a child, very sensitive case and something, it just stands to reason you don't want cameras in those kind of courtrooms. But that would be the limitation for me. I want to see. I like watching court. I find it. I just got finished reading The Zenith Man, which is all about a court case, a murder case, and I get into that, and a lot of people do. And why should we not be able to see the reactions of the justices when there's oral arguments being made, or when they're debating each other on particular issues? I want to see that. That's gold. That's great TV. And I think as a podcaster, I definitely would like to see that and be able to share that. And I'm sure Angry Conservative in 1981 over on Rumble would say the same thing. I want to speak for him, but I'm certain he would want to have that because he plays all the C-SPAN stuff. And so I'll have to ask him about that. But the tariffs have been, he's used them in ways that have not normally been used. But the times we're in are unlike other times. And we have to protect American interest. I mean, that's what's called making America great again. We're protecting. Now, has all of it worked? No, it's not worked. It's sometimes you got to know when to fold them, know when to hold them. I mean, it's like a betting line. And there's been instances where this was starting to hurt us, and fortunately they've overcome. And thank goodness for the soybean farmers that we got that worked out with China, and hopefully that will continue to be a strong economic partner, and those millions and millions of bushels of soybeans and other crops will be then shipping out, I mean, really almost immediately, and the future of Asian markets opening up for the same thing. That's good for American farmers. They come to an agreement, and it's a good thing. I mean, we're dealing with a Congress right now that is, the government shut down. People are not being paid. I have somebody in my family that's very close to me that's not received a paycheck now for at least 2 weeks, maybe 3. I know for sure 2, and they're working for free. And I mean, right now they get nothing. And thank goodness the spouse is working, or they'd be in a fix. What about, if it was 2, husband and wife, that were working in those, and they deserve their paychecks. They're doing a job. They deserve that. And I can tell you that I was, in some cases, I mean, we're hearing all this stuff about SNAP benefits and all this different things. But I can tell you, I was at a box store last night, and it just sort of emptied out really early. It was just, I mean, very small crowd, major name. And at the end of the night, I asked one of the workers how the day went. And he said, it was a good day. But he said, after like 8:30, it just emptied out. And I said, I noticed that. Because I work the outside of the store. And I said, it really got thin. He goes, that's the effect. The benefits, that's the effect. He said it's what we're going to be dealing with while that's going on. So anyway, it affects a lot of things. I know that's not a debate I want to have right now. I mean, I know there's too many on the rolls and stuff. We got to figure that out. But just the straight on economics of it, it impacts a lot of people, and so they got to get this figured out. But it's interesting that I would. That's just like him, right? To show up. Wouldn't that be great? I mean, that would be great for him to be. Has that ever happened? I don't know the answer to that. Has it ever happened that the president has showed up for arguments over a case that he's, of something he's trying to, an order he has made or something? That's the greatness of this. There is no normalcy right now. It is all being. He's re-examined everything that's going on. I mean, we're hitting the drug cartels left and right on their speedboats. I mean, I wonder how many speedboats the cartels have. I mean, they've already rocked out, splintered, vaporized several of them. I wonder how many speedboats that there are bouncing across the ocean. I've heard that they're switching to trying to fly some of this stuff in now, and some other ways that they're getting away from the boats. I got to imagine that the supply, although they got plenty of money, who wants to deliver a boat to them? I mean, they know they're being watched with all the technology we have, and even if you're a boat supplier, you you'll have to come pick it up. I'm not taking it to you, But I mean, at some point, this has got to start. And thankfully, I'm glad. I'm tired of seeing our kids die. But it's got some point. It has to affect them. I mean, sorry, boss. We lost another boat today. It reminds me of that scene where they were hitting the drug cartels, and that was a Harrison Ford movie, matter of fact, and they were hitting them and they missed the one. But anyway, uh, they were blowing up all their labs and stuff, and the guy gets mad, uh, because it was starting to hit home. The money was starting to be affected, and the operations and stuff. I mean, they were losing people, their drugs, and their facilities and everything in one boom. And that was fascinating to watch. And that's kind of what we're seeing play out before us right now is that the boats are being boats, people, product. It's the same thing. I mean, they've lost their ability to take it across the ocean. They've lost the people that they paid to do that, and they lost their product and a heck of a lot of it. And hopefully, I hope it just collapses everything around them. I hope they're on the streets begging for bread. I mean, because they don't deserve the bread that you give them. They have helped kill hundreds of thousands, if not a few million people in America with the drugs that have been brought into the country. I don't feel sorry for them one bit. And but I'd like to see, and they say we're not going to hit inside Mexico. They was talk about that because of this relationship we have, and maybe Mexico would get a little moxie about them and get a little braver and go after some of these people, and that would be great. And it's something you'll always have to attack. They're not going to give up. The money is too. I mean, they're not going to stop. So, but we can slow it down. We can damage it to the point it really starts getting in their pocket and start slowing down that flow into the United States, and hopefully see a few kids live that would have died, and just make that price so high for them that through equipment and people and product and everything else that they're having a hard time even operating. That would be the greatest thing. I mean, the going out of business sale, right? It's not going to happen for a cartel, but wouldn't it be great to see going out of business? President Trump kicked our butt. I mean, I would love to see that. Having they're trying to get money to go in retirement somewhere and saying we're done. I would like to see their fields scorched and everything else. I mean, let's really take it to them. I've been for this for a while, and I don't normally talk that way, but in this case, I'm telling you, our kids are dying left and right. Dads, moms, uncles, and everybody else, coworkers, they're dying left and right off of these drugs. I mean, major, major bad drugs. We're not talking about marijuana or something. Fentanyl and others like it are killing people. And so these. I wonder what's the last sound they heard as they're speeding across the ocean, and because when the missile hit, they didn't hear nothing. There was no more. There was nothing left of them or machine. But I swear what the last sound they heard was. I would love it if on them that they're putting, hello from Trump or something like that. It would be great. But anyway, going back to the court, they're going to examine this week. That'll be something to listen to as you. I know we're busy, but if you could listen to anything with the court with this, we would be. It would be interesting to hear. There's a quote in here from Joseph Lepisky. He's a former Obama, so you know what you're fixing to get, White House and State Department staffer, who is now the International Economics Chair at the Atlantic Council. Oh, I bet they like their letterhead, the Atlantic Council. He said there are laws that presidents can use to impose tariffs, but they require a months-long process to justify the rates. He said this: presidents have typically treated tariffs as a scalpel, not a sledgehammer. Well, he's not the typical president, dude. Oh, man. Deal with it, man. Earlier this year, Trump had threatened a 30% tariff on European imports, a major increase from 1.2% before he took office, seeking to secure Trump's support for the NATO military alliance and for security guarantees for Ukraine in its war with Russia. The European Union struck a deal to settle for 15% tariffs. Which think about it, from 1.2 to 15, America wins. So, you go big, you bring it down, you come down. And that's what they did with China. They went big, didn't get that, they come back down, they got quite a bit. And to me, that's just, making it better for us. We know that these crybabies, this has been an imbalance for forever, and everybody knew it. They knew that they were raking us over the coals. We knew it. We were allowing it to happen, and we know that the money being sent out of the country is billions and billions and billions of dollars. We're losing on that. That money doesn't stay here. It goes back to the home country, and we get a little bit of transfer fee. Some company does for the transfer, but we're losing big time. That money's not staying here. And so America has been upside down in all this forever. And so at some point you have to, you got to be real with it. You can't continue to do that or everybody loses. But it's negotiation. It's who's going to say chicken, who's going to steer the car away from the other one and get out of line first. Well, it's not going to be President Trump. He's pressured, sure, and there's some adjustments he has made, but he pretty much sticks to his guns. And you know what? The foreign leaders know this, and they're not going to mess with him too much. They're not going to bother that. They're not going to try to push him around, because one, you can't do it, and two is does he have a temper? He does, and he'll make it more. And so they're feeling the effects of that in their home country. China, for all of its threats and everything people say about them. One thing that's true about China is they're in an economic trouble spot. They have been for some time. It's not something they like. It's been hard for them, and it's not gotten any better. And it is, where Russia's at war, and they're actually, the economy's doing good. They've been able to sell their oil, and it's taken some things, sure, but on the overall, he's actually come out ahead, Putin. But China is a different story. They have struggled economically for some time now, and I'm not crying over that either. Uh, but like I said, they've been fleecing us for a long time, and I think that my personal opinion is the unions are to be for the president, if for nothing else but this. If you they always take like the car menu, that's their big one, right? The cars. And if they take the cars and they move them outside the country, you're going to lose the jobs here and all that goes with that. The support business and everything else is a potential to be lost as well, because you wouldn't be able to compete economically. If they're allowed to bring those back across the border with a very low tariff, they win because they're paying cheaper rates. They're paying cheaper on their electricity, cheaper on their water, cheaper on their, I mean, my gosh, most countries probably don't even have unemployment insurance or anything like that. Got to pay taxes will be lower, and they can pay lower wages. Absolutely, they can bust a union, do all that. They should be wanting to save those jobs. So if he jumps the tariffs up, it's not economically feasible to bring the car over the border. And of course, that also helps the big three in America for all those parts that are being made here. It seems to me, I'm not a tariff expert, but I think if you could balance some of that, it would keep some of them here. He's been successful at doing that. Everybody knows that. I mean, from the 70s on, we've been losing business. We lost all the hosiery mills pretty much, except for specialty markets. I mean, most blue jeans clothes, all this. I mean, look on the labels. Where's it coming from? Vietnam, Sri Lanka, Korea, and the list goes on and on. China, absolutely. The list goes on and on. It's hard to find American-made products. They're out there, and I try to support those businesses with American-made, like the Hodge twins up here that you're looking at behind me. But those products those jobs have left. I mean, in my town alone, there were many businesses that they're just warehouses now. They've been boarded up for a long time. There's been a few of them been turned in, repurposed into new business, but it crippled so many towns in my area for these jobs that left the country. And yet the unions just rode with the Democratic Party like they were the party of the people. Oh yeah, fleeing jobs. My wife used to be in one. It was a bad union. And of course, they did her dirty at the end. They absolutely did. All of them did, the company and the union and the whole deal. And thank goodness she's retired now and couldn't do it anyway at present with her health. But she gave a lot of her physical. She left laying on the concrete, as we could say there. She worked very hard. She went to work faithfully every day. She ended up having trigger fingers and stuff. She didn't ever have the carpal tunnel. A lot of her coworkers did. She lost all strength though in her hands, her shoulders hurt, and every back, legs, everything. She worked 22 years for that place, and I can tell you in the end, a little bit stronger language for me. I don't use strong language, but they screwed her over, and there's nothing we could do about it. I mean, it was horrible, but those people, those jobs moved out of country, and that before they already got rid of her. They found a way to get her out of the way, and many workers like her. They came after the veteran workers. They came after the veteran workers. By the way, this is interesting. Just to throw this little caveat in there, what they did is they brought in, and this is not a knock at Hispanic at all. What they did is they brought in younger Hispanic workers, and they told them, said, get all your friends in here. This is, I mean, imagine this. But they said, tell all your friends come to work for us. They paid them a lower wage starting out, and they told them they'd break the union, and then they would move them up. And what they did is they used that. They broke the union, and the union just sat back and all that. They've been letting things go. They were a horrible union. I thought, what are you doing? If you're going to have one, do something. They didn't do nothing. They just sit back and watched it happen. And they broke the union. They got rid of every veteran, pretty much every one of the senior workers. There might have been a couple that stayed, but most of them were gone. And then they paid lower wages. Then they turned it around. These same people that they worked with, they ended up shutting the place down and moving to Mexico. So they lost anyway. And that's the dirty business that goes on. The president understands this. And he's telling these companies, we're here to help you, but you got to help us. You got to make a commitment to America. And I think he's trying to protect those jobs. Now, again, there's a lot of yin and yang to this. I'm not going to say that every move he's made has been perfect. I don't think it has. He's had to make adjustments, but it's a hard game to play, and it is a game. It's a game among the rich and the powerful. But at the end of the day, if it makes the country better, if we're stronger economically, if we have more jobs, and we can see a return to prosperity and low inflation, if that end game comes, if there's more money in Americans' pockets, if there's low inflation and unemployment's very low, and costs come back down on energy and gasoline and whatever it may be. Gasoline's actually been coming down. I think I paid $2.61. That's not where I want to be, but it's a lot better than it has been. $2.61 I paid for gas today in my area, in my town. But get those things back here, making them here, selling them here, is a good thing. So if we can do that, then that it absolutely makes the country stronger and better. Another story you have on Gateway Pundit, you have Gavin. He just can't help himself, right? He's out there trying to throw mud, and he's just throwing a video out there that Trump is already rigging the midterms already. Well, if you look into Georgia, just look at the crapola that's went into some of Georgia, the reports of some things that's happened in certain areas. It hasn't been mine area, and that's what I tell people. I'm very blessed in the northern part of the state. We haven't seen anything like what we're hearing in other places, but some of the things have been going on. And of course, Georgia's a key state. They want to flip this state. They've already, flipped some Senate seats, and they're wanting to get flip it back blue, and in Florida as well. But they're it's been closer in Georgia. They're gonna have a hard time doing it because they've ran things so bad. They've done things so bad. The shutdown is hurting them, not Republicans. But he went on the Sunday shows. You always like the Sunday shows. You get a lot of sound bites. But he made the false claim that Trump was a historically unpopular president. Not true. Even though he's won every presidential election he has run in. Yeah, we know what happened in the last one. Newsom also touted his redistricting efforts in California known as Prop 50, which will allow Democrats to gerrymander numerous congressional seats. To do this, Newsom must get the green light from voters and dismantle California's independent redistricting commission and consequently redraw the map so that Republicans have no political representation at all. Newsom said, this is a historically unpopular president. Well, again, big lie. His policies are even more unpopular than the president himself. That's another lie. In every core category, he's underwater. That's a lie. He's the guy who promised to make us wealthier and healthier, and we are poorer and sicker. No, I think there's been moves to make us healthier, and I think the work is going on to protect more of the wealth in America for the middle class, and see that go down to all levels. It takes time, and this is an area he's still working in. But is he going to tout the Democratic financial platform as his defense? I mean, really? I mean, what was going on in the last 4 years? What was going on? He said across the board, people are starting to realize not only is coffee more expensive, beef is more expensive. Well, these things have went up. Absolutely went up. But these same people would tell you they don't like beef. They speak against beef. They speak against, these are the people that tried to, we're trying to tax, limit how many cows you can have and tax the gas that they're producing off of that, saying it's endangering the ozone and the environment, and it's shrinking the poles. I mean, these people so speak out of both sides of their mouth. The cost of an automobile is more expensive. Utilities, and by the way, like this guy cares. Has he cared about how the cost of anything in California, where it's probably the most expensive state for anything? Ask companies how expensive it is to do business in his state. They're getting the heck out. They're not keeping anything there but a token, a warehouse or something, or an office or something that they can, do business. But all these rules he was putting on new car manufacturers, really? That by what was it, 2036 or something like that? You're not going to be able to sell a gasoline powered car in California. And all these people, if you will have to go to the bordering states to get that, because they were not going to let them do it. It had to be all electric, and all their buddies were making money off the electric, the batteries and everything. Well, all those batteries coming from Georgia. Some of those are not even being built now because of they've overshot on this thing. And then now people are really getting upset because they see the danger in the batteries when these things catch on fire. There's not thing one you can do. It's a towering inferno. And watched the video just the other day of a car, and it was sitting next to a building, and it just went. And there's nothing you can do. So yeah, automobiles more expensive. Come on, dude. Utilities and all the things he promised to solve day one, he hasn't solved. His recklessness aside and his style aside, his substance, he hasn't delivered. And that's why we are here. Prop 50, because he knows he'll lose the midterms. No, he's not. And he's trying to rig the election before one vote is cast. He's been very open and honest, including right outside the White House just last week, saying incumbents are likely to lose midterms. And that's why he called Greg Abbott. That's why he said he's, quote, unquote, entitled. Think about that, entitled to 5 seats. That's why he sent J.D. Vance to Indiana shortly thereafter, why he moved in Missouri. He moved the folks in North Carolina, and now we have a special election in Indiana, rather, a special session. He's not screwing around. He's changing the rules. He's rigging the game because he knows he'll lose all things if all things are equal. These people know no end to the baselessness and the lies that they say. These are the people, the very people who rigged the game, as he says. Rigged the game. These are the people that crush small business in California. This is the dude that tried to destroy small business. And if they opened, he was, punishing them during the times of the big C word. I am on YT in this stream, so I got to watch. But we've already been struck twice, and eventually they're going to kick us out because we can't say nothing. Thank God for Rumble. But this is the guy that tried to cripple small business, but yet he himself was out breaking the rules. These people know no bounds to the lies that come out of their mouth. My God. And you know what? Sadly, people are just going to buy into every bit of that. And that'll be the talking points that you'll hear from your coworkers, for people that neighbors, whoever. It's going to be the same talking points. It'll just be the same thing. They'll be going, yeah, look what he's doing. Yeah, rigging the election. Yeah, he's changing the rules. Those will be slogans that you'll see on signs soon, I'm sure. but it's total lies. And he knows that his own state Republicans are a strong bloc and getting stronger. They are. It is home to the one of the country's largest blocs of Republicans. The problem is the Democrats have all the cities. But if you look at and go out there and look at the election maps from their own state websites. Just go look at Oregon, Washington, California, and look at how many red areas they are in those states. The problem is that they're smaller population. The cities are blue. And so the elections are being won by the cities, but these people are disenfranchised. They're not represented. That's why in Colorado, I think it's 6 to 7, 8 counties, something like that, 6 for sure counties that want to secede from Colorado. They're sick of what's going on. That's why you have counties in Oregon that want to move over to Idaho. They're sick of what's going on. And it's like that in many states. California could definitely be split up if you looked at that, because there are people that that are not represented. They have absolutely no representation. They have a senator. I mean, Devin Nunez was before he went to work for Truth Social. He represented basically that wine country of the farming area of California. And that's what he would fight the fight, but they would overrule him on everything. He has there's a handful like him, and they're fighting every day to try to make things better in California, but they're being voted down because there's representation is so skewed to the cities. But that's what's happened in Georgia. North and South Georgia are frustrated because Atlanta rules everything, and we're diametrically opposed on most things in Georgia. Now, I think we'd all be agreed that we want the good business to keep rolling in, and there's things we agree on, but North and South Georgia realize that Atlanta does not have their interest at heart at all. In fact, they want to see those areas. They want to flip the state, and they're going to put start making laws, and if they ever take over both houses, or sides of the state's, Congress, they would lose everything. I mean, we would lose all the gains we have. I'm telling you, there's a huge movement in Georgia to expand abortion freedoms, and you could just go on and on. I mean, it's an ongoing battle. So we feel that in Georgia, and all these people, God bless them. And I work in I'll be working Tuesday. I'm an assistant manager at a precinct, and I'm telling you, the two things that you see now. This past election, thank goodness we saw families and young people starting to turn out. Now, some of those, a handful, even in my area, were liberal. Now, how do I know that? You just know. No, I didn't talk to them. No, they didn't say nothing. You can just tell. I swear it, you can just tell. But a lot of them were families, and they were conservative, and they, without saying a word, they were coming in, and they were casting a vote for the president. They absolutely were. But all those senior saints, I mean, that they're superheroes. The ones that are on the walkers and the wheelchairs, on oxygen, we're helping them in the building, out of the building, helping, sometimes helping put wheelchairs and walkers and stuff back in the trunk for the spouse is not really able to do it. They're struggling, and we're there doing it. These are the people in North and South Georgia that are turning out and saying and veterans. Oh my gosh, the veterans that come in, and they're very senior. They're 80s and 90s, and they come in and they're upset. They're upset with where the nation's at. They want to see it protected. They love the president, and they don't have to say anything. They come in, and there's a look in their face. It's a resolute face, I should say. They're looking forward, and it's like they're still in those battles that they were in wars that they previously. A lot of them now be Vietnam. Now you're starting to see the Iraq veterans. They're getting some age on them too. The original ones, I mean, they're getting a little older too, and they're coming in, and they're wearing. I mean, they're wearing their hats, recognizing their service and everything. They have an American flag. That's that's one of the reasons they're not liberal. They got an American flag pin or something like that, and they I've seen them get out of the car and salute the flag as they get out of the car that's flying over the precinct, and they're coming up in there, and they're all business. They come to get it done, and some of these people. Now this is important. I want you to hear this. You can do absentee ballot. I mean, it's there, and it's great. I work with them. My wife has had some health problems. She's going to be setting up on this because it's hard for her to get anywhere now. And I applaud that. But I'm going to tell you what, these people, they're coming in there, and they could do that. They don't want to do that. You know why? Because they want to go down, and they want to do it the way they've always done it. They want to cast their vote. They want people to see them. They want people to see that they still believe in Old Glory. They still believe in the United States of America. They still believe in the promises and that American dream and the freedoms that they have. They know the cost. They've paid the cost. Some of them are walking, have prosthesis. Some of them they have their hearings gone because of war damage. You see it all, and they come in. They're shaky, and we assist them, and it's an honor to do so. And they're very kind. They don't come in. They don't berate us. They don't talk down to us. There's very few in my district do that, but there are a handful. and they come in and they treat us like garbage. Honestly, these people that I'm talking about, they are true blue American patriots, and they come in, and it makes me hurt to watch. And we do everything we can to make it as easily, as seamless as a process we can for everybody, but especially those, because it's in the Georgia election rules. You bring those disabled to the front. You get those folks. They can't stand in a line, and you get them to the front. You get them chairs to sit in. You do that stuff. It's an honor to do so, and they will. And these are the people. These are the people that will tell you before they leave the precinct. And it makes me. I feel like I don't deserve this, and they will say thank you for what you do, what you're doing. We appreciate it, and I cannot tell you how that makes me feel. It brings a tear to my eye. These people that have laid it down for the country are coming into a place that still salute the flag, still love America, still are proud to be an American, and they come in, they're thinking, me, I mean, I should be shining their shoes for what they've done for us, because a lot of their buddies didn't even make it home. They're in cemeteries across Europe, and in graveyards across the United States, and some of them we don't even know where they're at, that have paid the price to keep us free. And these jacklegs like Newsom and other names he's called, I'm not going to say them. I don't really. I'll let others do that. But you know what? It's ridiculous. And if they think that is catching that messaging is catching traction in my area, you're smoking something besides tobacco, buddy. It don't happen. It's not going to happen. Everybody here, look, and I'm not against anybody. We're Americans, and we are one nation under God. And I'm not against anybody, but it's obvious that there are people trying to sell our country out to hurt the country, and but yet they've spun everything around the dictator, a king, all these things. And we look back, and most of these people, now debatable on him, but most of these people, they need to be in jail. They should be in jail doing a long time, maybe the rest of their lives. In some cases, the rest of their lives. Yes, for leaving our boys hanging out there in Libya and different places. Yeah, you deserve to be in jail, serving the rest of your days in a 6x6 or 4x6, whatever it is. You deserve that. You should be there. But you still enjoy the freedom, and you sold our boys out. There are people dead because of you, and you don't care. And you think that little bit of soundbite's going to affect me? No, we know the truth. We know where we're at. We know what we've got. And the MAGA name and acronym, does that bother them? I don't care. You know what? I mean, these are the people that try to brainwash our kids and put filth into their brains and turn them against their parents, turn them against their faith, turn them against what's normal, and make them feel like they're doing something wrong. My granddaughter just the other day, I mean, we're so mixed up in the world right now, and we got kids walking to school with animal tails hanging behind them that are dragging the floor, and my granddaughter's having to deal with crap like that. And these kids need help. I mean, what's going on? We got kids coming to school dressed as cats and dogs, not for Halloween, making up and having fun. I'm talking about, and then they're trying to. These people are rude, and it's like my granddaughter's wrong or something because she thinks there's something odd and weird about that. I remember being at work here. This has probably been a year ago, maybe a little more. And I remember one day, the first time I'd heard about that, I was sitting in the office, and there was a guy. He's probably a little bit older than me, not much, but a little bit. He used to work for a company, don't work there anymore, but he was in as a consultant. And anyway, he was sitting there, he had his back to me. When I said that about what was going on in the school, he stopped what he's doing. He turned around with a very puzzled look, and he's just looking. And I could see him, and I'm just telling the story and everything. And he's sitting there, and he's just thinking on this, and he says, "You got to be kidding! Are you joking? There are kids dressed up like animals, and they're meowing and barking and crawling on the floor. That's not real, is it?" I said, "It's absolutely real. It's happening all across America." And he said, "No way." I said, "Yeah way." And he just shook his head and turned back around. It's like he'd never heard that before. He did not know what was going on. And let's give some people some mental health help. I mean, but we used to have standards at school. There used to be things you couldn't wear. There still is. But you sure can become something like that. Anyway, that's just one example. This is the type of ridiculous jackleg stuff that we're dealing with when we see stuff like this. It's just infuriating, but we know what we're dealing with, so we just have to deal with it, and know that we're on the right path, and know that we got to keep the fight. We People like Scott Pressler out there door knocking and getting people to knock on doors to flip these. He has brought more people in to vote. I mean, he's probably the leader. Actually, the Democratic Party is probably the leader. They got more people off their rear end to go vote with what's happened over the last 4 to 5 years, maybe even 6 years. What they have seen, that has got more complacent people off their butts, getting registered, getting back out and voting than anything. But number two is probably Scott Pressler. If you don't know who he is, look him up. This guy's out there making it happen. He's flipping districts over left and right all across the country in hotly contested races in states, like I said, all across the land. He's working it. He's getting it done. And he's not your typical Republican, but he loves the country, and I applaud him what he's doing. How about Jeffries? He says he's the future of the Democratic Party, not Mandani. Well, why didn't you go up there and campaign against him, buddy? I think you agree with him. But he says that he is the chosen one. Hakeem, you're the chosen one, not Mandami. By the way, that is, we got Tuesday to see what happens there. You got two horrible selections. One who I believe on the ground level the press won't cover. Silva. They will not cover him. They totally ignore him at every news bite that's said. But I've been watching video of this guy, and I'm telling you, there's New Yorkers turning out. They love this guy. I mean, he's dancing in the streets with them. I'm hoping there's a shot. These polls can be manipulated anyway, and they're trying to make you think this guy don't have a shot. There's a lot of people out there that like this guy. The problem is that the votes are split three ways. So we had was four ways. You've had one pull out and throw his support behind the guy that sent people to the nursing homes to certain death. But it's going to be interesting to see what happens on Tuesday with that. There are apartment owners in New York that are selling their properties left and right, moving to the Carolinas. Why? Because of the threats he made about rental property. They're selling out. It's high dollar. And they're moving to North and South Carolina and reinvesting their money there because even they see what's going on here. People with money understand what's going on. They didn't get there by being dumb. And they can see what this guy's agenda is. And it's amazing to me how people are just so blind to vote for something like that and what he wants to do. And he's not even trying to hide it. He don't even answer the questions. He knows exactly what he's going to do. He's told you what he's going to do. And New Yorkers, if they vote him in, I got to say, they get what you get. You voted for that. It's going to be ugly. But he said that, Jeffries, that is, he says, I think the future of the Democratic Party is going to be to fall as far as we're concerned, relative to the House Democratic Caucus and members who are doing a great work all across the country as it relates to our need to both take back control of the House, but in doing so, make sure that we're communicating to the American people like we understand you deserve better than the country that we have received, Jeffries said on the State of the Union on CNN State of the Union on Sunday. And so that was his answer about Mandami and what they never answer the question on this guy. They never will. And that tells you just how they've sold out. They never, ever, ever speak against what these people are trying to do to our country. Never. They absolutely will not answer the question. And they will call it Republican lies and, hoaxes and conspiracy theories. And they just speak, like I said, they speak out both sides of their mouth on that. But he didn't like the fact that this guy is being mentioned as the leader. They will fight each other over power. They do like the power. But Jake Tapper said your endorsement took a long time. Schumer still has not endorsed him. Are you concerned about Republicans using him as a lightning rod so as to hurt your ability to win back the House in 2026? Jeffrey shot back with another pivot. No, the lightning rod in terms of what's going on to impact the ability of either side to win control of the House or hold control of the House in 2026 is going to be the failure of the Republicans. Oh, see, it's always our fault. We're the bad people, the bad senators, to actually deliver on the promises they have made. They always go to that same line, failure to deliver on the promises. That's one of the main talking points. They wear that one out. To actively make life worse for everyday Americans. Again, what have you done to everyday Americans? The country knows that we're headed in the wrong direction. We see it repeatedly. No, we don't. They believe that. Repeat the same lie, repeat it often enough, loud enough, and people will start to believe it. Hakeem Jeffries, you're wrong. Oh, you may be the leader of the Democratic Party, but I think given your own tenuous position, because I think people want to take that, including him. Yeah, there's others that would like to take that position from you, bub, and use it for their own devices. Uh, but Fetterman, John Fetterman, God bless John Fetterman, he stood up and told them, I'm going to clean it up. He said to get their crap together and get the country opened up. And let's hope that that happens. I mean, really, it's went way on a lot longer than I ever thought that it would, to be honest. I did not think that it would ever go on as long as it has. And, but unfortunately, that's the world that we live in right now. And it is having a bad impact upon the country in lots of ways. So anyway, that's about what I got for today. There's so many stories as I look. I didn't even get the zero hedge. There's a couple of zero hedge articles I wanted to get to, but there's one I will tell you to go over there and read it. It's called "Congressional Feeding Trough Remains Open Despite Government Shutdown." They make sure that they eat, right? They make sure that their pockets are still being filled. Think about that. Yeah, they make sure that they're still okay, that they're still taken care of. They're not going to take the hit, but they have no problem in making life difficult for Americans, putting the squeeze on them. The leverage that they talked about is the American people. They've got them in the vice, and they're tightening the vice a little more every day and squeezing the guts out of Americans. They don't care, and they admit they don't care. But they'll do it. They'll tighten that vice down a little more, and they'll blame the Republicans every single time. These people are scum. I hate to have to say it, but it's true. It's horrible what has happened, and all Congress has got their faults. All of them get benefit. All of them enrich themselves. Maybe not as much as some others, but those deals. It happens on the state level. It happens on a local level. Those games and those cons and those frauds and stuff goes across the board. Maybe not every single one, but most of them. Let's be honest, and we suffer for it as Americans. It's just that the one party they don't do it as well as that's what the Democrats would say. They're not as good as we are. We know how to do it better. And that part is that they don't care to come openly and stand before the American people and pretty much tell you how they're going to make life difficult for you. And they're happy about it. They clap about it. They get up and clap about that in states of the union. They do sound bites whenever they can. And they tell the American people, we're happy to be a pain for you. We're happy to make your life more difficult. We're happy to do all of that. Welcome to Democratic Party leadership. They love to tell you that. They brag about it, and then they blame it on the Republicans. It's their fault. And they don't have any new lines. You think at some point they would get some new slogans. I do like that they try to sing a little bit when they have their protest. They have the little sayings that they say, but they got to get some new ones. I mean, they kind of wore out those talking points. Because they don't really have anything, but they're going to have to get with some strategists, some marketers or something. They're going to have to come up. I mean, they've got plenty of, maybe Bruce Springsteen can help them out. They've got plenty of entertainers that are on their side. Maybe old Bruce and Harrison Ford and all of them get in a room and they could come up with some new talking points and songs and slogans to sing at the next, No King's Day or something. I mean, before you know it, it'll be time again and they'll have another one. And they need some new things to sing. I mean, Bruce is slipping. He's fell down a bunch of times, but he's slipping. I would have thought by now he'd have wrote a song about it and, talking about, the conservative side and how great they are. One of the saddest things I ever saw, I don't know if you ever saw this, and I got to get off here, but one of the saddest things I ever saw, and I love their work. I love their work. And you can go see it. It's still out there. Was Andy Griffith, Ron Howard, and Henry Winkler were dressed up in character and did Democrat promotional videos for Obama. It's like the biggest what that you ever saw because they portrayed. I get their Hollywood, I get that, but they portrayed their screen presence was, and still watch today, is that most people who watch the Andy Griffith Show would think that he thought like them. Well, go watch the videos and you'll see how he thought. And Ron Howard's the same way, and Henry Winkler. Not really a surprise on that one, I would say, because of, most of the time the Jewish people are voting Democrat. Not all, but a lot. But it's sickening. If you never saw those, these were were released in the state of North Carolina. They were being used to support those tickets and the election and everything. And North Carolina has been a big state. It used to be Ohio was the one big state, and Florida, but now you've got North Carolina, Georgia. Those are target states for Democrats to do business in and flip if they can. So anyway, I need to get off of here. We'll be doing more of these throughout the week. The MAGA Report, Dave in the AM. Well, thank you for stopping by. We'll be back on shortly with another show. We got shows through the evening. I'm trying to catch up a little bit from a week that was a little difficult. But we will see you soon. Thanks for stopping by. We appreciate it if you stopped in for 10 seconds or a whole bunch. We appreciate it. And please visit our sponsors and affiliates. These guys up here, these Hodge twins, I love those guys. Follow that QR code. You help us. You help yourself to some great merch. And these guys tell it like it is. I love that. All right, we'll see you soon. Just a few minutes probably. I'm going to try to get one more show in before church time, if I can. If not, I'll see you after church. Take care. God bless. Salute.
lights all fade. When the stage is gone, when the debts ain't paid. Just how big a boy are you? When the chips fall, when the fish fly. Just how big a boy are you?
We interrupt this program to bring you an ad because I love Rumble so much. and I just saw the ad pop up. I want to say to those that are not on Rumble, that are in this channel, thank you for Rumble being all you folks, but there are others. You see the QR code there. We got to protect Rumble. There's very few places out there where you can get a protection for what the kind of shows we do. Trust me, we've been attacked on other platforms. Rumble has been there for us. And so if you haven't already made the switch to them, or at least download the app, make sure you download the Rumble app. It's free, simple to use, and the best way to stay connected to the content you want. And hopefully you like the content. There's a lot of great content on Rumble, and there's more creators coming on all the time. Once you've got it, search for our channel, the Southern Fried Podcast or SF Podcasting, and hit follow. That way it'll give you notifications every time. That way when we go live, you'll get a notification every time we go live. And I get those. I feel my phone going off and let me know when I go live myself. No missed shows, no extra steps. You can grab it right now using the link in the description or the pinned live chat. Download it to your phone and you're ready to go. And if you prefer watching on the big screen, Rumble is available on all major streaming devices and smart TVs. Just search for Rumble, follow the channel, and be part of the action. Definitely take advantage of that. And now that Pickaxe is out there, they're partnered up. So all of our live Rumble feeds go over to Pickaxe. We're thankful for that. Thank you. And at Pickaxe, you can actually leave commentary. So that's a great two to have together. Thank you for that. Thank you for allowing the time. We'll go back to the song. I'm still here. Just listen to a little music, and I like this song. Just how big a boy are you? So we'll get back to it. And I think the president's a pretty big boy. I like it. So let's pray for the president as he takes it to these jacklegs like Newsom. Take care.
Mud on your boots, dirt on your hands, fight in your eyes, scars on your plans. Who you gonna be when the lights all fade? When the stage is gone, when the debts ain't paid. Just how big a boy are you when the chips fall, when the fish fly? Just how big a boy are you when the truth comes, when the lies die? Big talk ain't the weight you carry. Truck in a no-name town, dust on your tongue, rain won't come down. What's the measure of a man with nothing to show? When the wind cuts deep, when the seeds don't grow. Just how big a boy are you when the walls crack, when the earth shakes? How big a boy when your pride bends, when your heart breaks? Big talk don't mean a thing at all. You can puff your chest, you can raise your chin, but the mirror don't care about the fire within. How far will you go? How much will you lose when it's blood for blood and you gotta choose? Just how big a boy are you when the tide turns, when the sky falls? How big a boy are you when the pain comes, when the last call? Big talk don't weigh a damn thing.
look at life for the southern people like a small town, nothing's real. Mama's still doing wrong, don't tell the preacher. Nothing really changes except the weather. If you can't say something nice, you don't say nothing at all. Don't want you up in my life, 'cause you talk too much, y'all. I could leave it all, I'm feeling low. Find myself on a brand new road. If you can't say something nice, you don't say nothing at all. Don't want you up in my life, 'cause you talk too much, y'all. Gotta go to church on Sunday, get a dose of the southern truth. Grandma's house is just down the way, and she's missing you.
Hey man, I just want to tell you about this new country show where everybody gets to vent their frustrations about whatever's got them down. Here's how it goes. It's a Southern Fried Vent Show where everybody can vent out their frustrations. Come on down if you got something to get off your chest. It's a Southern Fried Vent Show where everybody can vent out their frustrations. And if you're not satisfied, then don't come back. This woman told me the other day that her boyfriend didn't text her back. She was mad about it. And I said, you know what? You need to go on the Southern Fried Vent Show. You can talk about it all you want. Here's what you need to do. You need to get on the Southern Fried Vent Show where everybody can vent out their frustrations. Come on down if you got something to get off your chest. It's a Southern Fried Vent Show where everybody can vent out their frustrations. And if you're not satisfied, then don't come back. I said it's just like this man told me the other day, that his neighbor had been looking at him funny and it was bothering him. I said, you know what? You need to go on the Southern Fried Vent Show. You can talk about it all you want. Here's what you need to do. You need to get on the Southern Fried Fan Show, where everybody can vent out their frustrations. Come on down if you got something to get off your chest. It's the Southern Fried Fan Show, where everybody can vent out their frustrations. And if you're not satisfied, then don't come back.
Posts. They're the critters we love most. A hound in a hat or a cat in a bow. They steal the show wherever they go. Southern claws and paws, y'all. Fluff and fur at the roll call. A bark, a meow, a squawk, and a cheer. Best friends of the South are all right here. A piglet grins with muddy chins. A parrot talks, a lizard crawls. Life's more fun with Southern claws and paws. Big or small, short or tall, we got room for them all. Southern claws and paws, y'all. Fluff and fur at the roll call. A bark, a meow, a squawk, and a cheer. Best friends of the South are all right here. South, we dress them the best. A possum on a leash, a golden shades. Critter couture for the parade. Southern claws and paws, y'all. Fluff and fur at the roll call. A bark, a meow, a squawk, and a cheer. Best friends of the South are all right here.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallant.
rust on the barrel, sun in my eyes. Sweat on my back, freedom never dies. Hands careless, rough, heart unafraid. This land my right, my price already paid. Long live the Second Amendment. My blood, my soul, my commitment. Ain't no chains gonna hold me down. Long live the fight, long live the sound. Steel on my hip, cold and steady. The world turns, but I'm always ready. Born in the fire, forged in the fight. Ain't backing down, ain't losing this ride. They can talk, they can shout, but they don't know what it's about. Long live the Second Amendment. My blood, my soul, my commitment. Ain't no chains gonna hold me down. Long live the fight, long live the sound. The wolves, they circle, but I ain't blind. The line is drawn, ain't crossing mine. Stand like a mountain, tall and proud. Hear my voice, I'll scream it loud. Long live the Second Amendment. My blood, my soul, my commitment. Ain't no chains gonna hold me down. Long live the fight, long live the sound. The walls, they circle, but I ain't blind. The line is drawn, ain't crossing mine. Stand like a mountain, tall and proud. Hear my voice, I'll scream it
I'm lonesome since I crossed the hill and o'er the moor and valley. Such heavy thoughts my heart do fill since parting with my Sally. I seek no more the fine and gay, for each does but remind me how swift the hours did pass away with the girl I left behind me. Ne'er shall I forget the night the stars were bright above me, and gently lent their silvery light when first she vowed to love me. But now I'm bound to Brighton camp, kind heaven, then pray guide me, and send me safely back again to the girl I left behind me. My mind her image full retains, whether asleep or waking. I hope to see my jewel again, for her my heart is breaking. But if ever I should have a chance to go back across the ocean, although my love may be lost to me, I'll find another maiden. Shall honey taste no more, the dove become a ranger, the falling waters cease to roar, ere I shall seek to change her. Each mutual promise faithfully made by her whom woes betide me, and true the lass that loves me well, and the girl I left behind me. The brigadier commands the right and guard the ford and river. The main guard charge to attack, the flanking party shiver. The man who wears the stars and stripes, and in the field they find me. I will lay down my life and die for the girl I left behind me. Then may the
Early in the morning on the 19th of September, our army set out from Claymore's Cove. Down in Georgia, down by the Chickamauga, and I knew that the fighting was gonna be close. Down by the Chickamauga, by the Chickamauga, down by the Chickamauga, we saw our boys laying in rows. For 2 long days we heard the sound of cannonballs tearing through the trees like a summer rain. For 3 long days we heard the sound of rifle fire making our men scream out in pain. Down by the Chickamauga, by the Chickamauga, down by the Chickamauga, we saw our boys laying in rows. Now when the smoke cleared, there was thousands laying dead. The river ran red with the blood of the brave. Brother fought by my side, and I was there when he died, the day we made our stand at Snodgrass Hill. Down by the Chickamauga, by the Chickamauga, down by the Chickamauga, we saw our boys laying in rows.
Cannonballs fly in this infernal sound. All the wounded men lying on the ground. It's the lost cause that we fight for. It's the lost cause that we die for. They burned the barns, they set the fields ablaze, they poisoned the wells, they tore down the towns. It's the lost cause that we fight for. It's the lost cause that we die for.
stood my ground till I was shot down. It's the lost cause that we fight for. It's the lost cause that we die for.
We marched into the valley with fire in our eyes. But the day we took the mountain, I thought of you and I cried. I fell down to my knees and prayed. Thank the Lord that I'm still here. For so long, it's been Bibles and battlefields. And all this time, I've held you in my heart. And though we're worlds apart, I still hear you. And all these days, I've counted down the hours. It's like 1,000 years. All this time, it's been Bibles and battlefields. If there's a silver lining to this endless hell, it's the hope that one day this war will end. And I'll be home with you, my dear, holding you near. And for so long, it's been Bibles and battlefields. And all this time, I've held you in my heart. Though we're worlds apart, I still hear you. And all these days, I've counted down the hours. It's like 1,000 years. All this time, it's been Bibles and battlefields. Oh, I won't give up on my love, and I won't give in, and I will hold my ground until I'm back with you again. All this time,